need a left arm. It's not in the best condition, but it's something. And I can wear it. Alright, let's finish upstairs here. That's that fire I was hearing. Mission to Abigail. Alright, so I'm glad I came back here like this and spent some time. Cannot go down there. That's where we came up. Alright. Come all the way over. What about this door? I don't think so. Been through those. What's going on in here? Oh, that's Maria Chavez.
My name is Maria Chavez, and I am about to die. Scorched have overrun our defenses. They're coming for us all. If you find this, please listen carefully. We were called the responders. After the bombs fell, we tried to help people. Maybe I can still help you. The terminal nearby, if it's still there, use it. Learn about the inoculation project. It might just save your life. Oh, shit! They're here! Here, I'm out of time. Read the terminal. Learn about the Scorched. Remember us. And good luck.
Wow, alright. Report on Harper's Ferry attack.
Hey everyone, this is Derek. Making my final report on the events at Harper's Ferry. Hopefully this reaches you all safely. Whatever happened here, it was big. The whole area it's devastated. If any of our people survived, I can't find a trace of them. I talked to some of the locals. They say creatures came from the sky and laid waste to the town. Some of the ones who got hurt in the attack were transformed or something. They apparently turned into monsters and attacked anyone they could reach. Ronnie says he and his people are gonna seal themselves up in their bunkers and try to figure out a way to fight these creatures. In other words, we won't be getting any more help from these Free States guys. Maria, I was hoping you could get in touch with Ella. See if maybe she can lean on Raleigh a little. Get him to see that this isn't the way. If you ask me, I think it's damn selfish of them to turn their backs on the rest of us. When people need their help to survive. There's nothing else I can do here. Guess we can scratch Harper's Ferry off the map. I'll be heading back soon. I want to check in on some of the farms along the way. Should be about a week.
Alright, Hunter's Ferry attack. Anything else before we look at this terminal? I don't think so. Maria Chavez. Alright, Terminal 3, Fire Breathers recruiting. I just want to remind everyone that the Fire Breathers unit is always looking for more manpower. If you think you've got what it takes to handle our toughest missions and take on the Scorch, then Melody and Madigan would love to meet you. Don't forget it's a dangerous assignment, but it comes with benefits. You have top priority for both rations and ammunition. We ask the Fire Breathers to put their lives on the line, but we reward their bravery where we can. The job's not for everyone, but if you think you can handle the recruitment process and training, then I ask you consider signing up. Chavez. Personnel files. Senior members. Chavez, Claire Hudson. Inoculation Project. Sanjay. Melody. And Jeff. Other members. Alright, Derek. Veronica, Darian, Chelsea, Felix, David, Milne. Complaint 15. We just received another complaint about the Grafton Mayor's office. This time the mayor is being accused of illegally soliciting funds for his re-election campaign. The mayor's assistant allegedly demanded a contribution exchange for notarizing documents. This one is more serious than the last three. I'd better go check it out. Follow-up. An officer was sent to the mayor's office in Grafton. He found some irregularities with the mayor's assistant's procedures. A citation was issued to correct the problem. The officer noted that Grafton's mayor claims there aren't funds to make the changes. We'll let a judge sort it out. That was complaint 15J. Messages. Has anyone seen? Alright, we've already read these. Can I get rations from here? Ah, this looks like it. Alright, I want to check out this. Does this elevator go any place? Where does this elevator go? I want to. Oh, that's is that elevator that I saw downstairs. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, can I not get in here again? Oh, darn it. Yeah, that's all. That was just this elevator. Alright, did I need to go up top again for anything? I think there was another door. I'm going to be confused as to where I'm going. Or is this just an elevator? This door right here. Yeah, this door. It's another responder corpse. Personal log.
It's been a few hours. I can hear them clawing at the door.
I've locked myself in a storage closet, but I don't think the door opens from the inside. It's okay. Everything is okay. Acute stress reaction. Panic and emotional distress. Breathe. Breathe. I would guess it's been 24 hours since the attack. The sound of combat has stopped. They're still outside. I have roughly 8 to 10 weeks. Provided source of fluids. Starvation onset within 10 days. Effects of psychological shock are ongoing, but repressed. I can worry about PTSD later. I believe it's been 3 days. 3 nights. Adrenaline has dissipated. I'm so thirsty. I'm so hungry. I still can't unlock the door. Must conserve strength. Using energy to ping on the door or yell at's proven wasteful. A source of fluid nourishment has not been found. No one is coming. No one is coming for me. My friends are all dead. Children were born into this violent world. And they left so violently from it. My God. Never leave. Don't. I feel hungry. Thirsty. No one is coming. First, I'll recall my index finger. Flex. MP joint. Oh, it hurts. Flex. MP joint. Extend. IP joint. And contract. Muscle. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so she locked herself in. Not just a slow descent. Alright, so this just circles back around to here. Alright, so what is our mission telling us? Well, exploring the old responder base at Morgantown Airport, spotted a holotape. I should listen to it. Listen to the fate of the responders. Responders' personal logs? I already listened to this. Report on her. This is the one we just listened to.
It's been a few hours.
Yeah. Maria's last words.
My name is Maria Chavez. And I am about to die. Scorched have overrun our defenses. They're coming for us all. If you find this, please listen carefully. We were called the responders. After the bombs fell, we tried to help people. Maybe I can still help you. The terminal nearby, if it's still there, use it. Learn about the inoculation project. It might just save your life. Oh, shit! They're here! I'm out of time. Read the terminal. Learn about the Scorched. Remember us. And good luck.
Did I miss that? I read the terminal. But nothing popped up. Unless this is just what it's telling me to do. It's fire breathers, but it did not start. Or do I have to go to Grafton? I'm actually going to turn this on. I think. Oh, overseas cache.
Attention, citizens.
I missed this.
Nuclear strike imminent. Please exit the area at your earliest convenience.
Overseer's log.
Thank you for your
Morgantown.
cooperation.
I used to love coming here on weekends, taking flight lessons. Now it feels like I walked into a nightmare. Those scorched things are everywhere. I kept quiet. They didn't see me. I managed to observe them for a bit. Whatever this disease is, it seems to completely take over its host. Eventually they go rigid, like some kind of stasis. And if they stay like that for too long, they sort of burn up from the inside out. Vesuvius in reverse. I wondered what could possibly cause all this. And then I got my answer. It swooped down from the sky, screeching, breathing, infecting everything. I don't know how to fight this. But we need to consider all our options. Even the nukes. We find the source of this scorched plague and wipe it from the map before it can leave Appalachia. But first things first, we can't let the disease spread to us. Looks like the responders were developing some kind of inoculation. I'm going to pick up their work. You should too. This is the Overseer, signing off.
Alright, so that's about the inoculation. Found a holotype recording made by an overseer. She suggested checking out a nearby terminal to learn about the responders' inoculation project. But is that... Is it in here now? It is not. So I'm looking for another terminal. Is there one upstairs in this area here? There is not. So I need another terminal. Where's this other terminal? It's not going to be back in there. It's not going to be in there. Oh, I don't think I've been in here yet. a nearby terminal. I thought I've checked all the terminals that I saw already. If it was back up in that room, I'm going to be upset. Be mad at myself. What would this other terminal be? Is it outside somewhere? I don't see another terminal in here. Let's show on the map. It is here. Oh, I wonder if it's... Could it be like... There was, there's a medical area back there with those tents. It's an inoculation project. It might be there somewhere. We will check this out. This is the front thing. I need to come back here. Oh, they're all over the place, aren't they? How did you open it? Seriously, what activated him? Alright, we'll let him take him out. Medical laboratory. So this is what I'm thinking. Is there a terminal here? here? Sponsor's laboratory terminal. Inoculation project announcement. Folks, exciting news to share. As you well know, Dr. Hudson has been continuing her research in the lab at AVR Medical. Well, she just reported in to let us know that she's made it looks like an inoculation against the scorched plague could soon become a reality. So I'll keep our fingers crossed and make sure to do everything we can to help Claire complete her work. Our very survival depends on it. Jeff. Scorched research. Intro. Field study by Claire Hudson. Those of us struggling to survive in the post-war world face countless threats. The search for safe and sustainable resources of food and water would be enough to challenge anyone, but the strange mutated creatures appearing throughout the region greatly increase the danger of day-to-day life. None of these threats, however, compared to the Scorched. To better understand these monsters of the wasteland, I spent time observing them and gathering information from those individuals lucky enough to survive first-hand encounters with the Scorched. There are still far more questions than answers, but I believe I have made progress in my understanding of these enigmatic and fearsome creatures. Details on specific subjects follow. Scorched beasts. The name conjures terrifying images of huge mutated bats that poison the ground and warp living creatures into deadly thralls. We first learned about the Scorched beasts from the Brotherhood of Steel, whose soldiers encountered the creatures to the southeast. At first, nobody believed that what they were describing could be real. We thought it was a bullshit story, giving the Brotherhood an excuse to commandeer our ammo and supplies. We were wrong. I'll never forget the first time I saw one of those monstrosities, black wings against a blood-red sunset. Talk about a reality check. We know far too little about these creatures, but we do know they aren't strictly nocturnal. They always seem equally willing to move alone or in small groups, and they're highly aggressive. Worse than that, they're dangerously radioactive, which I believe is an important clue about their origin. If we ever get hold of one for study, I think we could learn a lot about them. Unfortunately, being anywhere close to a Scorched beast is a near certain death sentence, and not just because of radiation. Cover that more in the next entry. Alright, the Scorched plague. I'd love to give a detailed explanation of what the Scorched plague is and how it works, but right now we know so little. It just wouldn't be possible. Frankly, it's damn frustrating. What we do know is there are living creatures that come into contact with the Scorched beast sometimes begin to mutate. The victim's skin turns dark, almost black, with the smell of ash. Some kind of biochemical process takes hold at this point. Lesions that burn with intense heat begin to form on the victim's body. The affected creature appears to be covered in smoldering embers. In the case of humans, high mental function eventually disappears, replaced by extreme, almost animalistic aggression. We call the creatures that are transformed in this way Scorched. Needless to say, watching a friend or loved one go through this process is both horrifying and heartbreaking. Worse, there's almost nothing we can do about it. I say almost because we've been able to gather enough information about the Scorched plague that we might be able to develop a vaccine against it. That's a huge maybe, but we recently found some equipment at the AVR Medical Center that's in pretty good shape. With the right facilities and a steady supply of Scorched to study, we might just find a way to counter this terrible disease or possibly even reverse it. Only time will tell. Anti-Scorched tactics. I hope by now that I've made one point crystal clear. The Scorched are lethal. They're nothing less than an existential threat. If we cannot find a way to defeat them, or at the very least contain them, there's no reason to think they won't spread far and wide, transforming or destroying everything in their path. We don't know nearly enough about the Scorched to develop real tactics. What we know so far mostly amounts to common sense approaches for dealing with any deadly predator. I'll summarize those points below. If you're fortunate enough to encounter a Scorched beast, likely because it has decided to hunt you, Do everything in your power to keep away from it. If you've got a gun and can find an enclosed space to fire from, that's ideal. Scorched beasts are too big to fit into small spaces. Remember that scorched beasts emit strong radiation. That, coupled with their powerful bite, should compel you to keep your distance at all costs. If you've got no other choice, you should at least consider using some Rad-X before you engage the creature at close range. Scorched humans are savage and deadly. While their ability to speak is limited, don't think they're mindless. They retain enough intelligence and memory to use guns and other weapons, and they're hostile to just about everything they perceive as a potential threat. Fight the Scorched as you would a raider, albeit one with a deadly plague. Of vital importance is keeping your distance to minimize the risk of infection. Stay in cover when you can, but give ground when you need to. Do not let them get close. I know there's not much to go on. There's still so much we don't know about these creatures. Hopefully it'll help at least a little. This concludes my report. Alright, so that was just learning everything about the Scorched. Messages, are these probably the same? Yes. Is this computer here working? I'm pretty sure I came in here once before. Oh, here's another psyche eval. Olivia P. Henderson. Ooh, that looks like a nice gun. Alright, it didn't play that. I think it's another one you have to read. Psych eval, Olivia Henderson. Beginning transcription. This is Dr. Madison of the Responders. I'm conducting a psychological evaluation of patient Olivia Henderson. You forgot the P. Of patient Olivia P. Henderson, the session has been recorded. Hello, Olivia. Howdy again, Doc. Let's get started. First, can you state role with the responders? Well, let's see. I started as a volunteer, like most everybody these days. Didn't do much to help. Then found out about the quarantine zone here and knew this is where I had to be. For the record, the quarantine zone at Morgantown Airport is where research and containment of the Scorched phenomena take place. Yes, that'd be it. I don't think I'd call it by such a pretty word, though. It's more of a nightmare. Your job here is to guard the quarantine zone and take care of the Scorched victims. Yes, sir, it's my job to keep watch over those doomed souls and make sure they stay locked up. Can you tell us why you chose to take this job? Well, when the call went out for quarantine guards, it kind of had a disclaimer attached to the job role. Can you explain? They said it was a permanent position, as in I'm permanently quarantined. The Scorched are dangerous and highly contagious, so I can never leave. Why did you decide to take the job? That one's easy, and I'm pretty sure I already told you. It's the cancer. Yes, you told me you were diagnosed with terminal cancer just shortly before the bombs. Oh, wow. Yes, sir, but you've survived so long. The doctor said you had just a few years left in you. You're still kicking. What do you think happened? That part I'm not so sure about. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and maybe something with the radiation is slowing down the progress. Or maybe it's in recession. Remission? Yeah, that one. Maybe it's in remission. Tell me about the other quarantine guard, Wyatt. Are you two getting along? So Wyatt's the other one we read about earlier. Oh dear, Wyatt reminds me of my son. God rest his soul. He's a smart boy. Unlucky as hell, but smart. Kid doesn't deserve what life's handed him. It's very true. I do have an assessment with Wyatt later this week. Be nice to him. He's become like family since we've been stuck in that airplane together. Unless we were both in that airplane. Will do, but I'm afraid we're out of time. That wraps up the assessment. Thank you for joining me today, Olivia. Responders do thank you. Very grateful. Just keep delivering the liquor, Doc, and I'll be happy as a clam at high tide. Of course, that's the least we can do. Alright, so she had cancer, and it probably most likely is the radiation. that she was exposed to that's helped her. Results of continued interviews with Livia have proved my initial hypothesis correct for the most part. The subject is aware, resourceful, mentally able, and psychologically fit to continue her work in quarantine. Also shows signs of stubbornness, willful ignorance, and cynicism. We'll be keeping an eye on any signs of background or latent depression. Anxiety is through the roof, but who isn't dealing with that? Continue evals of subjects. Perhaps at a slower pace. Every other month should be good for now. It's the other guard I'm concerned about. So the doc was more concerned with Wyatt. Alright, what is our next? So that's all miscellaneous. An ounce of prevention. I learned that a responder scientist was developing inoculation to protect against scorching mutations. The work was being carried out in a laboratory at AVR Medical. Study Dr. Hudson's research. Alright, where's this at on the map? Alright, this is... Where is this? This is down to the south. We're up. Is this where we are now? We're up at Morgan Airport. This is Flatwoods, right? Yeah. So it's south of Flatwoods. Alright, but before we do that, I think there was... Take that off. Not that. Yeah, McGill's campsite. Wasn't that supposed to be around here? Yeah, it's north of the airport, it looks like. We do that. Alright, turn that off. We need something to drink. And maybe a little something to eat.